Hi YouTube! Today I thought I'd do something a little different. I thought I would show you my cube and see how it's doing. It's had a lot of changes. I'm down to one fish, so I'd like to talk about why that is, and we'll take a look at the plants, and we'll take a look at some new tools that I bought from Amazon, and we'll see how they work, and we'll do it together. So here we go. So this is the 8-gallon Cobalt Nano cube, which I am trying out, and I've had it for a little while now. I would say, I don't know, a couple months at least anyway. Somewhere in that ballpark. So I used to have, as you know from previous videos, I had rummy nose tetras in here. And then a couple other kinds of tetras. Everything is gone, except for one excuse me, one tetra I have left, and it's the tetra that we didn't know what it was. If you remember from previous videos. So he's way in the back there, all by himself, his lonesome. And we also have one big mystery snail, or an apple snail. I'm not sure which one is which. Not really up on my snails or plants, as you will find out. This is the first tank that I've ever had with real plants. So forget asking me what's what, because I don't remember. You guys, I'm sure, will probably know what I have better than I do. But anyway, what I'd like to do is try out some of these new tools. So I've got some curved scissors, some straight scissors, some long stainless steel tweezers, and some long stainless steel curved tweezers, and a stainless steel scraper with 2 different types of ends on them, which I don't need because boy does that snail do its job. As you can see, the glass is crystal clear. I've already cleaned the tank a few days ago, so I don't have to do a water change. Mainly I just want to get a handle on these plants that are growing out of control. This, when I bought it, and I can't remember what it's called, if you can see that, this was a beautiful small bushy plant down here in the corner, and now it's become so leggy it's just completely out of control and growing right up out of the top. So you can see there's a little one down here. What I want to do, and this one's bent so I'm going to cut that right off, is I'm going to use 2 hands, one to grab what's floating up and one to cut. So I'm actually going to be kind of aggressive and cut this pretty far back. I do know that you can replant these because I actually tried that. I actually took one of these that I cut and I stuck it down on the other side over here, if you can see that one over here where I'm pointing to, and it took and it grew. So if I wanted to, I could save these and replant them, but I don't really want to do that. So just because, you know, this is the only tank I have that has real plants, and I don't have room for any more plants. So this one I'm going to cut right back to here, I think. Yep. And you'll see that in a couple months, this little plant will be really bushy, and it will be back to kind of how I want it, which I want it to be a lower growing bush down here in the corner. And this is just way out of control. So this one I'm going to cut back to here. So anyway, I'm pretty good with growing plants in general, but like I said, this is my very first attempt at growing real plants in an aquarium. And I don't feed them anything, and I probably should, but it doesn't seem like I really need to at this point. I'm actually going to cut this one way back and see what happens with that. All I do, I do have an organic substrate on top of sand, and I know that I'll have to put the name of it in the description because I can't think of it off the top of my head. But I do know that these, this little organic substrate here, the little brown ball type substrate, it does break down, and it acts as kind of like a natural compost as it breaks down. So that in itself is feeding the plants. And of course the waste from the one fish and the snail will also be adding nitrites and food for the plants as well. So I kind of think that's a good start. I could clip this one down a little further, but that's some new growth there. I think I'm going to let that go. And that's about it for that one. Now, I think this is called Java moss, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, because I definitely could be wrong. I think this is called Java moss. This stuff is growing out of control. Now, I wish I had a different tool for this, because I almost need like a little tiny net to catch all this stuff, because it is just crazy. It's going to be floating all around. It's going to get clogged up in my filter. And you know what? I actually do have a brand new tiny little net that I bought online as well. And I'm just going to pause the video and I'm going to go grab that. So I'll be right back. Okay, so here's the little net that I have. This should help me a little bit. We'll go back to trimming up some of this moss. See if we can catch it. Yeah, that helps a little bit. Now, I'm sure there's lots of people out there that have way more experience than me in doing these kind of little biotopes. These little planted nano tanks. So any tips and tricks would be greatly appreciated. All this is new to me. I mean, I've had fish tanks my whole life, so I've grown, you know, fish, lots of different species and types, but these live plants are completely new to me. So it's kind of cool. I'm really enjoying it. So let's talk about why I've had such a loss of life in this tank. So I started out, I had my rummy nose tetras, and I had some beautiful shrimp. I had 3 beautiful shrimp. The shrimp all got out of the tank. I don't know how they did it. They climbed out, they crawled out, they jumped out, I'm not sure. One of the things I don't really like about this cube, and it's pretty much the only negative I have to say about it, is when you put the glass lid on, there's a space about a little over 1/4 of an inch all the way around the glass. And every single fish I've had in here except for one has jumped out of the tank. And I think the reason why they've done that is not the water quality, because I've tested the water and everything was fine with the water. They jumped out of the tank because I have a younger cat that comes up here in the night when we're all in bed and terrorizes these fish. So I think they would panic and they'd be jetting all around. And actually I did see the kitten in the morning one time. I came down and she was doing that. She was terrorizing them and they were jetting around the tank. And I could see right then and there how they would probably, you know, just jet right out of those sides, because I would come down and I'd find, you know, every morning I'd find a different fish on the floor, and it was just heartbreaking. So before I get any more fish or shrimp for this tank, I've got to figure out a way. I may just cover the tank at night. That might be the solution. That way they can't see the cat can't see the fish, and that just might be the simple solution to that. But I've got to figure that out, because it's not good. I'm not going to put fish in here, you know, so they can be terrorized by the cat. I've got another cat who, she leaves the tanks alone. She has no interest in them at all. But the younger cat, she's a little terror. So I think that's pretty much what's happened, as sad as it is. So I've got one fish, that one tetra that we couldn't identify, who's back in here by himself. He's got a snail for a friend, and that's it. And he's got to be a tough, smart fish, because he has eluded the terrorizing cat. Okay, so I'm trying to just basically get like a ball shape on these. That was my original intention. I just wanted to try to make these look like little trees on top of these branches here. So that's what I'm going for. I tell you, I like these scissors because you can cut on both sides of them, which is nice. And I like the curved nature of this particular pair. I'm not catching all of the fern that I would like to be catching here. So apparently when you do this, you're going to make a mess out of your tank. And pardon my voice, I have just had the worst sinus infection and bronchitis. It's been a really bad summer for me health-wise. So pardon my constant clearing of my throat. It's kind of annoying, and I apologize for that. So this one is just so out of control. I'm going to go to the straight scissors now. Try those out because I want to cut. Whoa, I almost cut the branch. Cut all the way down here. Kind of give that a haircut, see if I can pull that out. Yeah. All right. That works pretty good. Get my net to see if I can catch any loose strands coming up here. Yeah, this is not easy to do. I give people a lot of credit that do these beautiful tanks. I've seen some amazing Nano tanks online, award-winning ones, and it's not easy to do. It's definitely a lot of maintenance. And I'm short, and this is up on a bar, so I probably should have a step stool so I could get in here easier, because it's definitely not easy for me at all. Just kind of hacking away. It's probably as best as I'm going to be able to do. And it's a big mess. Okay, let's go back here and do this one. Let's see if I can swirl it up and catch it. Oh, that worked out pretty good. Cut and swirl. And kind of wrap up the ends of these as you go. But so far I'm really liking these scissors. Amazon had quite a few reviews on them, and they did pretty well. There were some cheaper ones that people had complained they weren't true stainless steel, so be careful of that, guys, if you're buying these online. And I can't even tell you where I got them or who I got them from on Amazon. But I just basically go by the reviews. If it has pretty good reviews and people are happy, then I'll take my chance if it's not too much money. These were a little bit more, these weren't the cheapest ones, but the cheapest ones they had were the ones that people were complaining about, and I think they weren't true stainless steel. And to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure if these are, but we'll see over time. I will let you know if they rust. I'm going to keep them really dry when I'm done. I'll dry them off really good, because I think that's important. Because even, you know, people don't understand that stainless steel itself will eventually corrode. It's not 100% that, oh, stainless will last forever. That's not how it works. It eventually will corrode, especially if you're not taking care of it. You should keep all your tools nice and dry when you're done. Alright, so yeah, this is making a huge mess. Definitely going to have to change the filter. I'll probably give it a couple days and then change my filter. Now, I'm not sure about this. I forgot what these are called, but this is a really common plant. I'm going to cut this one way down low. Like, this leaf is just way too big for this Nano tank. The whole point was to try and get like tiny plants, but they've just grown, you know, so well in here. This gets the LED light, but it also gets natural sunlight a little bit of the day. So I think that's what's really making everything go crazy. So I'm going to take out some of these bigger leaves back here and let the little ones come up. Let's see what that does. I think it'll have a better look. And I wish I could remember the names of these. I actually bought a book too on aquarium plants that I've been reading. Of course I can't remember any of them. Where did this go? This whole thing's coming off, but I guess we don't need that. Too much. Too much of this stuff. Let's cut some more off. Swirl. No, that didn't work. That didn't work. Yep, so I'm making a mess on my bar. There's water everywhere. I think I'm going to take that leaf too. He's kind of too big. And yeah, that's going to really there's some really tiny ones back here, and they're going to come up. That's a big one. I'm going to take that one. Yeah. This will really let the little ones come up. And I'll tell you, this is relaxing. I've read about how, you know, this can be very zen-like and it is really relaxing. It's so funny because before I had the snail too, all these leaves were covered with detritus, dirt, whatever, algae, and this snail just keeps everything immaculate, cleans all the branches. So the snail was a hit. I know some people don't like snails, they have problems with them. Luckily I don't think either mine's a male or it was a female without eggs, because I haven't had any babies, so I've been lucky that way. Because I know all about the problems you can have with snails overtaking your tank. So this one I'm just going to kind of give a haircut. Just like this. That looks better. I'll take that out. Okay. We're getting there. I definitely want to trim this one back quite a bit. I'm just going to grab a whole section here. Turn my scissors around. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. And like I said, I'm not doing this to show you best practices because I'm new to this, but I just thought it would be neat to show you guys the first time I use these new tools. And I'm kind of hoping that I get some tips and tricks from people that know better than me on this. Because I'm just kind of hacking away, and I know a lot of this stuff you can replant and grow, but I want to keep this tank kind of minimalist, even though that's definitely not the look it has now. But that's what I was intending to do. I didn't realize how prolific these plants would grow. Kind of surprised me, actually. It's like, wow. They are happy in here. I wish the fish were. That really bums me out. The rummy noses were so healthy and so pretty, and to lose every single one. Every morning I'd come down, there'd be one on the floor dried up. Just sad. So let me know if anybody's had these cobalt nano cubes, if you've had any trouble with the top part, with the opening. Have you had shrimp come out? Have you had fish jump out? And what were your solutions? I'd be interested to know. My first thought was just to cover it up with like a towel or something at night to keep the cat from messing around with it. But maybe somebody has an even better idea that'll look better or work better. So, alright, I need my tweezers now. Let's see if I can grab this stuff down the bottom. These are actually parts of some almond leaves that I had in here, and boy did the shrimp devour those. They loved them. The snail did too. So I gotta get some more of those. There's somebody in my neighborhood with a Harley, as you can hear. Can't mistake that sound. Figures they would be doing that when I'm trying to videotape, but what are you gonna do? So, that's about it. I think, I'll continue to clean up a little bit off video here. You guys don't need to see me do this for another half hour or whatever. But I just wanted to show you what was going on with the Nano. And let me know what you guys think. If you have any ideas for solving the problem with the cat and the fish, and If anybody has any recommendations for types of fish for this, don't forget it's an 8-gallon Nano cube with a little tiny filter. So whatever it is, it's got to be really tiny and not very many. So that's about it, folks. I think that is looking better. It's not great. It's not going to win any prizes, but for my first one, I'm pretty proud of it. So let me know what you think, guys, and happy fish keeping, and we'll talk soon. Bye.